Hey, what's up guys? Jarem Atkinson here. Hey, I just wanted to put a little awesome value bomb out there for you guys. This works really, really well, in particular for anybody in the e-commerce space, anybody selling like physical products, or even if you're selling a virtual product, as long as you are actually selling something, capturing credit card information, this works really, really well for you guys. And then, with some minor tweaks, this can also work for people who are just looking for an opt-in, but, potentially an opt-in where you're trying to grab a little bit more information than just, email or name or email, that kind of stuff. It's something I wanted to share with you guys just as a little value bomb here. It's something that I highly recommend if you're in the e-commerce space that you implement. It's not a super scalable thing, but it is something that's really, really important to do right at the beginning stage. Like after you've just finished building out your funnel's up online and you're running traffic to it. Now you're trying to figure out, why people aren't buying, or, when you're getting like 10% of your conversions, 10% converting, how can we get it to 12 or anything like that? This is a really, really good thing to implement. So really the most straightforward, easiest way to harness the power of this is using a two-step order form, right? You guys are all familiar with two-step order forms, right? Like it's the little form that Clickfunnels has, where people usually put in their name, their email and their phone number, and then they go to the second step where they're going to fill out the information to buy from you, right? They're going to pick their product, put in their credit card information, all that kind of stuff, right? So if we look at the funnel here, we have, again, traffic kind of bringing in from wherever, right? People are going to come to your two-step order form, right? Super, super basic. If you had like a little video or something here, and then if you had some text with maybe, some imagery, something else like that, and some more text, maybe some testimonials down here below, we usually have that form here on this right-hand side, and it looks, something like this, like my awesome handwriting here. But basically, usually in this very first step, we're capturing, like I said, we're getting their name, we're getting their phone number most often, and we're getting their email, right? And then after that, they're actually, clicking a little button here to go to step 2. And then we know in step 2 is where we're going to, capture credit card. We're going to get expiration. We'll get the little CVC code, and then they usually pick the product that they want, right? And then they click this button to buy. Okay. So we all know within Clickfunnels, we have the functionality, or if you don't know this, maybe this is just news to you. If people come through and they complete the first step in the form, but they don't complete the second step, you still got the information that they provided to you in that first step. So in this example, if they only complete step 1 and they don't actually buy from me, I still got their name, I got their phone number, and I got their email, right? Now we know, part of the power of Clickfunnels is, in the follow-up, right? If they provided to me their name, their phone number, their email, I could, send them an email. And we've all seen this. We've all been on, Russell's funnels, and we came through and we were looking at his funnel. We didn't buy, and then we got an email like immediately after that said, hey, did something happen? Want to make sure you had the opportunity to buy while it's still available, blah, blah, right? We've all seen those emails, okay? You can also do, SMS texting, right? Clickfunnels integrates natively with a tool called Twilio, which allows you to do text marketing. You go into Twilio and you're basically pre-writing out the text that you're going to send out, and it functions just like an email. We'll queue it up so that we'll say, hey, if somebody comes here and they complete the first step but they don't buy, send this text immediately, or send this text in 15 minutes, or send it an hour, or whatever, right? We know that functionality, and that's all automated, and it's super powerful. Again, that works with Twilio, and of course the email marketing works with Actionetics or ActiveCampaign or Infusionsoft or MailChimp or whatever you want, right? The really, really cool part I want to share with you guys that I see so few people doing, it's not super scalable, and maybe that's why people aren't doing it, is you captured their phone number, okay? Right? And maybe, probably even more than it not being automated is the part that it might be even a little bit uncomfortable. If you guys are like me, I feel like I'm kind of a situational extrovert. I can go to a networking event and I can be extrovert, but otherwise, like, my default thing is kind of introverted, especially when it comes to, marketing and selling. I really like, being behind the computer and not, being on the phone necessarily. But the really important thing I highly recommend you guys do, and this is kind of the cool thing I want to share with you guys, when people come through this funnel and they complete this first step and they don't complete the second step, when you got their email, I want you to call them. Okay? Like actually call them on the phone. Like pick up your actual phone, put in their number that they opted in with, and call them. Okay? When you call them, you're not going to push them to buy. Like we're not trying to be that pushy salesperson. You can if you want. It's not what I recommend with this. Okay? The more important thing I recommend that you do, and there's a few pieces to this. When you're going to call them, you're going to be transparent with them, right? And you're going to call them and say, hey, this is Jarem Atkinson with Active Defender. You just came through and you were looking at buying a taser, and I actually just wanted to call you because I noticed that you came through and you kind of got partway through, but you didn't end up buying. And I just wanted to hear why you didn't buy. Now, I'm not here on the phone to sell you. I'm not going to push you to buy. If you didn't buy, that's totally fine with me. But we got our website up a week ago or a month ago or something like that, right? And we're actually just trying to, learn like what people's experiences are when they are coming through our website. So, in that vein, I wanted to ask you if it's okay, why didn't you buy, right? And then listen. And they will just tell you because they're speaking to a human. In my case, with Active Defender, that's my dad's company. We've gone about, and I've been often the one behind the camera making videos, like showing people our tasers and our stun guns and our batons and our knives, all that kind of stuff. I've been behind the camera showing people those products, and now they get to talk to Jarem. They're like, holy Mac, you're a real person. I'm like, yeah, I'm a real person. Whoop-de-doo, right? But people are just weird like that, and they all of a sudden like, oh, that's cool, whatever, right? And so I just get on, I kind of give my spiel there, talk about how I'm here just trying to gather data to, help our site convert better, make sure that the stuff we're speaking about on the site makes sense for what they're looking at. And then I just listen, and people will tell you, like, they'll be super straight with you, and they'll tell you exactly why they didn't buy. I'll get people that'll say, oh, it was just too much money, I wasn't interested. And I'm like, that's totally cool, right? Or I'll get people that'll say, I wanted to buy, but I feel more comfortable buying through PayPal. And I'm like, holy Mac, I didn't even think of that. I never added PayPal to our funnels. I should have done that, right? And people will say, oh, I saw that I could come through and I could buy one, but I actually wanted to buy 4, or I wanted to buy 10 or something else like that, right? We have found that information in some of our follow-up, okay? Or I even, I've had people that like, oh, I was looking at buying, but I, just wasn't sure, thought maybe I could buy it for cheaper on Amazon or something, right? Or I was going to buy, but I wanted to talk to a friend, wanted to see if he wanted one before I bought one, see if I could buy one for him, right? Like those different things that come up are reasons why people didn't buy. And so again, I highly recommend you call them up, you give your spiel, you listen, they give you this feedback, and then if you can, if you can afford it within your budget, you thank them with some kind of something, right? In the beginning stages, we've thanked people just by giving them something free. Like, oh, thanks so much. Like, really appreciate your time. We're going to send you a Amazon gift card as a thank you, right? And sometimes we may actually mention this thank you, up here in the beginning before they give us feedback because, their time's valuable and we want them to understand that we know that. But we want their feedback. And so we'll say like, hey, I know I just called and it's intrusive and everything else, but if you can just give me 5 minutes of your time, 10 minutes of your time to explain these things, I'd love to send you a gift card as a thank you for your time, right? Like that $10 or that $20 in a gift card is absolutely nothing. It's peanuts in terms of this feedback that they give you. This is why they didn't buy. Then you take these things they suggested and, as you make a bunch of calls and you get feedback, you'll start to find commonalities. Like, hey, there were a ton of people that were saying like, oh, I wish there was PayPal. Or there were a bunch of people that were saying like, oh, I was thinking about going on Amazon, right? And then incorporate those back into the funnel. Like in Amazon, like one of the coolest things I've seen, this is a little side tangent, one of the coolest things I've seen, this is a guy, Dean Holland, if you guys know him. He's been really, really successful. He has a side company where he and his fiance, they sell makeup brushes, and they actually went and uploaded their own brushes into Amazon, inflated the price, so they priced it much higher, and then they got screenshots of those when they're actually on Amazon. And yes, they are there. You can actually go through and buy them, but they got screenshots of them and put them into their funnel so that when they talked about the brushes and everyone's going through, the decision criteria of should I buy these brushes or not, when the thought comes to people's minds about should I buy on Amazon, they'll say, here's some comparable brushes to ours and look how high of price they are, whatever, right? Like, this is such a better deal right here in this funnel. And that's absolutely true. Like, if you went to Amazon, you could see those exact brushes and so on and so forth, right? But the point is implementing these changes that people are giving you feedback on and then continuing to run traffic into your funnel. It's super, super powerful, and it's really, really simple. Like, yes, it does require you to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. Yes, it is not scalable, but it's something I highly recommend that you do right in the beginning stages. Again, if you get on this phone call and you are transparent with people, just sharing like, hey, we just built this website like a week ago. We're just trying to test stuff, make sure it works okay. I'm not pushing you to buy at all. I just want some feedback, and if you can give me 5 minutes of your time, I'll give you a gift card, or I'll give you 20% off, or something else like that, right? You'd be surprised how many people will actually take the time to tell you, their feedback. And it's super, super valuable. So anyway, I just want to share that with you guys. Like I mentioned, this can lend itself super well to the e-commerce crowd, but this can also work fairly well for people who are just looking for opt-ins, In particular, if the opt-in information that you're trying to get is a little bit more above and beyond just like name and email, that kind of stuff. You do need enough information that you could, more or less break it up into 2 steps. Now, I know that in Clickfunnels they don't have a 2-step order form. Or a 2-step form that does not involve an order. I'm aware of that. But you can do a little bit of a workaround. And actually, a lot of people don't even know this. If you go to Russell's, website, Expert Secret, that was a weird E, expertsecrets.com. And I know this because I have that funnel. If you go to expertsecrets.com, his funnel, again, looks just like kind of like what we talked about. Like, it has all your information over here, and then it has this, what looks like a 2-step thing, right? Actually, that's 1, and then this is 2. This is actually not a 2-step order form in his case. They are 2 separate forms because he has so much functionality and code and everything else on the 2nd step that actually would not work within the functionality of his 2-step order form. Okay? The point I'm making here is if you have enough information you need to get in an opt-in, you can break it up more or less into 2 steps, right? In terms of the funnel, it's just going to be an opt-in page that goes to a thank you page, which is actually another opt-in page, okay? And then you're just going to separate out your information. I recommend that you build this one first and then clone it and make it this one, and then you can change up your information you're asking for. The cool part about it is this little piece right here. Let me pull up his funnel really quick so you can see a better example than my chicken scratch here. That little piece right there that has the 2 little toggle areas where you can pick from step 1 or step 2 or whatever it is you're going to call it. You can actually take that piece and you can just create that piece as an image. Okay, they're not going to have the ability to click on each one and navigate between both, but you can make it's this piece right here. You can make that an image, okay? And that's what Russell's done here. This is actually an image, okay? So you'll just make that as an image. You'll place it right above your form there. And again, like, for all intents and purposes, people don't know it. People look at this and just say, okay, there's 2 steps to this opt-in. I need to fill out my shipping information, and I need to, then decide if I want to upgrade or not, right? You can do the same thing. And that way you're able to capture information separately so that if somebody comes through and fills out this information here, puts a name, phone number, and email, and does not fill out the second part, it's actually a separate opt-in. So you will still get that information. You'll still get their name, you'll still get their number, and you'll still get their email. Okay? You have that functionality available to you, and then you can go through your follow-up to be able to find out why they didn't go all the way through the action, whether that is opting in, registering, or even if it's buying a product. Okay, that's kind of what I have to share with you guys today. I highly recommend you implement it. It's super, super powerful, really cool stuff, and I would love to hear how you guys get on with it. Thanks so much.